So I finished Enough by Cassidy Hutchinson early this morning. I did listen to this on Audible, or audio, I should say. Sorry, I was using the Libby app, not Audible, for this one. So this is her memoir of her getting started in politics, and then what happened leading up to January 6th, and then the impeachment. And maybe a little bit after, but we haven't really seen Cassidy since. No offense to Cassidy. I hope she's doing well. I don't really care if she's in the spotlight or not. I'm trying to be nice about it, but hey, you do you, girl. I'm really glad that you spoke up and did things. You're very brave, and listening to your story, I think, is very important to understand some of the insights that were happening. And she does go into it more than what we know from the impeachment sessions, right? Where she, not only did we see her videos, but she did a live testimony. And she does talk about that in this book. Now, I will say, when she starts off in this book, it starts off with her life, her childhood, her contentious relationship with her father. And at first I was kind of annoyed because I was like, why are we doing this? We don't need to know this. But it does end up making a lot of sense and a lot of importance throughout as she's older and serving in, on the Capitol and in the White House, because some of those things come back into play. And it explains why she felt so comfortable in DC, her story of her passion. And I love to hear people's passions. Now, I don't think Cassidy is a harmful person. I want to say that not only does she have a very sweet voice, but yes, I don't agree with her politics. However, she knew what was wrong and she tried to stop it. I want to make that clear. In this book, before the insurrection was happening, she was trying. She was saying, this is wrong. What are we doing? You got to stop this. She was throwing up the alarms to her bosses, but her bosses obviously were ignoring her. And it goes through, she explains how she struggled to get a lawyer, that she was afraid of taking Trump money because she knew that it would have stipulations to it. She didn't feel comfortable with Stefano as her lawyer. She didn't feel like she could tell the truth while there because Trump was going to, throw her under the bus, do all that. They ended up doing that anyway. And, when she read Bob Woodward's book, right, The President's Men, and she listened to, I can't think of his full name. His first name is Alex. And she was talking about how she read the book and she, really related to this fellow staffer. This was during, I think it was Reagan's time, right? Or was it Nixon? Anyway, she really related to him, and it was because of that book that she was brave enough to speak out, to tell the truth, to find a different lawyer. She had a pretty good relationship with Liz Cheney, and she reached out for help, not because she thought Liz was going to protect her, but because Liz could give her advice. Liz could give her some resources on where to look. And it really showed that she wanted to do the right thing. Now, Liz, and she even said, even prior to that, she had a good relationship with Liz, and then they kind of fell out because Liz didn't fall in line with Trump's politics, and the Republican Party had basically ousted her, right, because she was speaking out against Trump. And we've seen that continuously happen, right? And Cassidy had mentioned how scared she was, even going back to her hometown and seeing these Trump signs where, not just in her hometown, but she was traveling after the insurrection and like during the impeachment hearings, and she was like, kind of almost in hiding, but not quite. And she was seeing these Trump signs, and she was scared. She was scared for her life. So anyway, she was still scared for her life. And there was a point where she was in a hotel room, and there was a fire, and it almost felt like it was iffy. Now, I'm not saying that all fires are iffy, but like the timing of it, there had just been a fire drill earlier that week for the hotel, and then there's a fire. Like I said, suspicious, just my thoughts. Now, I hope Cassidy's doing well. She was talking about how she really didn't want to be known, that she felt very weird about, like, having her face and her name out there. She felt like there were people that were trying to protect her, prior to all of this happening, but at the same time, she had so much power that people were like calling her Chief Cassidy, like she was the boss. And that was in part because of her boss Mark. And she, like I said, she talked about how she like overlooked the cultishness of what was happening with Trump and his followers, and like even like she said, even leading up to the impeachment, there were just iffy things going on, like the burning of papers and stuff, and like trying to declassify things and making binders and giving them to people that shouldn't have had them. Like it was just a hot mess. And even just before the transfer of power, it was just chaos. Like she was just trying to clean up messes left and right. And, if it wasn't for her and maybe a few other people in Trump's immediate circle, like things could have been 1,000 times worse. So I'm going to give Cassidy credit here. Like I said, I don't agree with her politics, but it's definitely an interesting read if you want the insights of what happened leading up to the insurrection and then the impeachment hearings, from an insider point of view. Now, I did read the January 6th report, finally. I do have to make a review on that. There's just a lot. It's just truly a lot. Anyway, like I said, if you want a good nonfiction, here it is.